Hello all, this is the part where I would normally say it's been a while, but it really hasn't compared to my usual standards. It's only been, 2 weeks since I posted that Lincoln United versus Shaw Lane Aquaforce video. For those who haven't seen, Shaw Lane Aquaforce actually lost the final. It's the first year since their inception where they haven't actually got promoted. But that's not the point of this video. This video is to talk about the Cowley brothers. Now, at the time of speaking, which is Thursday evening, they haven't yet been confirmed as Lincoln managers, but it's one of the worst kept secrets, really. Lincoln, to be fair to them, when Moyes announced that he was going to be leaving, it was about a month or so ago now, no one had any clue who it was going to be. In the previous managerial appointments, there was always an obvious candidate, rightly or wrongly. Like, for example, Gary Simpson was always the obvious choice. Not the right choice, but the obvious choice, simply because he was, how can I put it properly? He was the sentimental choice. He was never good enough to be a manager, and his record showed that. Then obviously Chris Moyes came along. I say came along, he was already at the club. But he didn't do a particularly good job, no matter what anyone says. It's really weird everyone's saying we're now on a good footing, yet I believe we announced yet another loss last financial year. Obviously Clive Nate's coming in. Oh, Clive Nate's, we've had an investor. Lincoln have had an investor for a change. A guy called Clive Nates from South Africa, who's an Everton fan, invested some money in the club and he's going to be doing so over the next few years. I'm doing a bit of a catch-up. Obviously, the Lincoln fans who watch this will know most of this already. I'm just doing a catch-up for those who aren't Lincoln fans. And so, yeah, that's offsetting a few things. My hair's messing me about. So, yeah, it's still strange that everyone's saying Lincoln are on sound financial footing, yet they're announcing losses every single year of more than £100,000. To me, that's not really a sound financial footing, but there we go. That's just me. There's me looking at it with a logical look at things with any financial figure that contains a minus in front of it isn't a good financial setting. But anyway, I divert slightly. So, yeah, we're likely to be announcing the Cowley brothers in the tomorrow. They managed Braintree Town this season, or last season, depending on how you want to look at it. It's the 2015-16 season that I'm referring to. They managed Braintree Town and they took the Essex club to third in the conference. Which is a remarkable achievement for a club of that size. I actually really like Braintree. I've got a lot of time for them. On that trip I did a few years ago with the video, I met a lot of really nice people that day. I got a lot of time for that club. And to be fair to them, punching above their weight, I would have loved to have seen them gone up to the Football League. That would have been brilliant. But alas, it wasn't to be, as they lost in the semi-finals to Grimsby. But as they still a remarkable season, and led by the Cowley brothers, Danny and I'm not entirely sure what the other one's name is off the top of my head. Sorry to the other one. But yeah, they've had an incredible record as managers. They started off with Concord Rangers in the Essex League, and they won 3 promotions in 6 years. I believe in that time they only finished lower than the season before once, which is an incredible record. Whereas Lincoln have obviously been mediocre for the last few years, and then they got appointed to the Braintree position last summer, and I say they took them to third in the league, which I say is a remarkable achievement. Unlucky not to even get to the final in the end, but there you go. What can you do? So yeah, so it's a bit strange because Lincoln, assuming they do appoint the Cowley brothers, because they actually quit the job about 5 hours ago at the time of speaking, and they've been talking to the club. Although a few other clubs have been named as being interested, no one, as far as I'm aware, has made a solid approach. So it's looking exceptionally likely it's going to be the Cowley brothers. Obviously, if it's not, then this video will look a bit silly. But yeah, I'm actually quite excited about this appointment for once. For once, Bob has actually done what he said he's going to do. He said he wanted to appoint a young, up-and-coming manager who knew the non-league. And to be fair, that's what we got. He's actually lived up to his promise for once. I remember when he said, I think it was along the lines a few years ago, he said something along the lines of, want a young up-and-coming manager with a vast knowledge of the non-league. And we ended up with Chris Sutton, who had no knowledge of non-league, no knowledge of League Two, which is where we were at the time. It was just a bizarre appointment. And Bob, I still don't trust what he says. Every single thing he says seems to be not the truth, or at least it doesn't turn out to be the case. I could go into further examples, but I'm not going to, mainly because I don't want to get sued. But yeah, it's interesting reading the autobiographies of former managers who talk about their time at Lincoln, and it's not positively. But anyway, so yeah, the Cowley brothers. So it's an interesting situation because they're coming up from a part-time club to a full-time club, assuming again that Lincoln don't go part-time over the next few months, which I'm pretty certain they won't. So it'll be an interesting technique, but they've always been praised for their methodical nature in doing things. Excuse me. So I actually think they'll like to be a lot more prepared than some of the other managers in the past have been. I mean, I love the fact that that they're bringing in their own coaching staff. I do feel a bit sorry for David Priest. He's done an excellent job as the goalkeeping coach for Paul Farman. He did a brilliant job coaching someone who was a bang average goalkeeper and turning them into a decent conference keeper, potentially lower League 2 goalkeeper. The less said about the other coach, who I will simply refer to as Teflon, the better. But as far as I'm aware, he's going as well, although that hasn't actually been confirmed. If he ends up staying again, there's something wrong. But anyway, I'd leave that alone. I've written about that too many times. So yeah, it's certainly an exciting time coming up. It's one of the ones where, obviously, you never know with any managerial appointment. Everything's a gamble. I mean, a lot of clubs appoint first-time managers. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. I mean, you look at, say, Nigel Adkins at Scunny. He had a very successful spell, and then but you look at others, say Chris Sutton. I don't even know. I'm talking about first time managers because Cowley isn't a first time manager. He's been in management for about 7-8 seasons. Granted, at mostly at a lower level to what Lincoln are at, but he's proved that he can manage in conference. It'll be interesting to see how he does taking over a set of tip players that simply aren't good enough for top half football at the moment. And that is proved by the fact we finished bottom half, despite the fact that we were in the top half all season. In fact, I think it was Woking scored us like the 82nd minute of the 46th game, and then we dropped out the top half. So I've got something in my eye. It was the first time we were in the bottom half all season, and we stayed there for the remaining 10 minutes, and that's where we finished. They just said Moyes did a good job. Just look at the fall after Christmas. If that had happened to any other manager, you'd have lambasted him. You'd have wanted him out ages ago. It is amazing that some people are happy with the run of, I think it was like 5 wins in close on 30 games. How you can be happy with that, I don't know. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick, my thoughts on the appointment, really. With regards to games, I'm still not getting a season ticket. I've got a few job interviews lining up at the moment, because I live in Leeds, by the way. I mentioned it in my last video, I don't want to repeat it again. I've got a few job interviews lined up in the next few weeks. Some are still in Leeds, some are in, one's in Scunthorpe, next to the football ground. And I'm kidding, Scunthorpe, I have nothing against you. I'm not like other Lincoln fans, I'm not really that bothered by you, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, you are the best performing Lincolnshire team at the moment, so what can you do? But anyway, and the one's in Newark, working for a company that I've actually already worked for. Those who know me will know who that company is. But yeah, so I just wanted to give a quick video, mainly because I was bored. And yeah, so I'd say if Cowleys are appointed, then great. If they're not, then this video will go look a bit silly. But out of all the people that I've heard that were candidates, to be fair, they're the best ones. I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been Steve Thompson, who goes on about how he got Sheffield United to a FA Cup semi-final, kindly ignoring the fact that he only took over at the quarter-final stage, so he only had to win one game. It's not like he took over them in the third round and got them through 3 games. So I was just counting how many things there were. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. I'm not sure my attendance will be like for Lincoln games next season. Probably not a lot. Obviously, we've got Guiseley, which is near me, which I'll definitely be going to because as it stands, I say, assuming I stay in Leeds, it's only about 5 miles up the road from my house. We've got York as well, which is again not that far from where I live. I've got access to the Manchester games. I'm disappointed I didn't get to go to Altrincham either this season or last season, and especially now I've been relegated. But I'd say I hope to get to at least 5 or 6 away games, and I'll try and do a video for each of them, but there's no guarantees. I'm going to try and get on a holiday at some point, although I can't do it until I've got another full-time job. I do have a job, just to clarify. I work at a cinema. But yeah, I'm looking for a full-time role at the moment. I get good hours at the cinema, but I can't live on like 30 hours a week and only a guarantee of 4, because that's the contract I'm on. It's doing me for now, but anyway, I'll dive it slightly. I'll see what happens. I mean, the only way I think I'll go back to on a semi-regular basis to Lincoln games is if I do move to Newark. Although having said that, I spent a whole year back in Lincoln, and I went to 4 games maybe. Only 2 of them were at home. One of them was the Grimsby, and the one was the game where you could get in for £1, of which I only paid £1. And before anyone criticises me for that, the amount of money I spent following them for, I think I reached 440 something games in a row between 2005 and 2013. So don't even start questioning me on only paying £1 after I'd spent all that money. I don't even dare to count. It's probably in the well, I know it's definitely in the thousands. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. So I will see you all whenever. I do a few games in the pre-season. I don't know, basically. But yeah, that's where we are. I'll leave it there. Cheers.